And what is a suffix? A suffix is also an affix, a morpheme that it's added at the end of a base word. A suffix added at the end of the word can change the word's meaning, the word's grammatical function, property, as well as its type. For example, when added ed at the end of a verb, I'm changing the meaning of the word, as now the action refers to something that happened in the past. For example, I walked to the gym in the morning. If I add s at the end of the noun, I'm making it from singular, plural. For example, I will have the word ball and I will add s and I'm making it balls, having now many of them. Knowledge of these suffixes can really support decoding as well as comprehension, spelling, and writing. Consider we are working with the word biology, for example. If I know the meaning of logy, that it refers to the study of something, I will read the word and I will consider its meaning. And I can also correctly spell the word, since I will know how to spell logy, ology. So if I hear archaeology, I already know that the ology part means the study of something, the study of ancient, right? Archaeos, something ancient times. Now, grammar can be very challenging at times, or it can be somewhat challenging for students to grasp. Knowledge of these suffixes can help them with their spelling and also expand their understanding about word origin as well as meaning. For example, when working with the word comprehension, the learner can identify the part comprehend from seeing the word comprehend and the suffix shon. It's not that the word is longer, but it serves a very different grammatical function in a sentence, as now it's switched from a verb to a noun. By adding the sion, it turned from a verb into a noun. I can comprehend better by taking notes. Note-taking supports comprehension. So again, I'm showing that it's not just changing the grammatical function of that word, but it's changing the use of that word within the sentence. And it's important for the students to have a good understanding of what these suffixes do to that word and what do they do within this sentence structure. Now, conjugation, which is also something important to understand, refers to the change that occurs at the end of a verb to show tense as well as time. For example, I will say, I play the violin. She plays the violin. And I will add s to indicate the change on the verb. And now, who does the talking? Who does the task? I will say, she was working all night. And I will add ing in order to indicate the continuity in that action that was happening. Therefore, it's not a matter of only learning the suffixes. Again, it's important to understand how the meaning changes and how the spelling changes within a given sentence. And I mentioned that there are different types of suffixes. So what are the types of suffixes? There are two different types of suffixes. We have derivational and inflectional. An inflectional suffix or inflectional suffixes are used for grammatical reasons, and they may change a noun from single to plural. So I will say arrow, arrows, ball, balls. They may also change a verb from present to past, pass to past. So in this case, the inflectional is the ed that I added. I can also change an item from as is and compare items. So for instance, I will say ER and EST at the end of a word. The sun was brighter this summer. The sun in Greece is the brightest I have witnessed ever. So I'm adding ER, I'm adding EST, and I am adding an item from and compare items. Now, derivational suffixes are used to change a verb to a noun, or they are used to change a noun to an adverb. For example, when I say comprehension, the word derives from comprehend. So I added sion and I changed the comprehend verb to a noun, comprehension. In denial, the word derives from the verb deny, and it has al added with a change of the y to an I. So I said denial, or in defendant, the verb defend turns to a noun with the suffix ant. Defend, I defend, that's the verb. Defendant, that becomes a noun. Words can be changed to adjectives. In the word wonderful, the full, F-U-L, suffix turns the word into an adjective. As when I will say, the day was wonderful until it started to rain. Words can be changed to adverbs, as in quietly, where I will add the ly, quiet, and quietly, where I will say she quietly walked into the room. Now, the amazing part with suffixes is that once we know them, we can grammatically tell what the word's role is in a sentence and how to better use that word in writing. Now, you may be wondering, why is it important to know inflectional suffixes and derivational suffixes? That knowledge can really support students' understanding on the words that they encounter within sentences, but also it can support them in their own writing. So the students can be considering and can be self-correcting on their spelling, because they will be thinking where this word derives from, and that knowledge will support them in better spelling that word. Again, looking into our lessons, you will notice that we have grouped suffixes, and we have identified them as derivational or as inflectional. And we have provided this information in your table of contents and in the lesson, so that it will be part of the explanations that the teacher will provide. You will also notice that we are devoting 2 weeks on the instruction of suffixes. And that is because it is important for the students not just to be exposed on those, but it's also to apply them. And the more that they read and they apply the knowledge of using their strategy into their actually and authentically occurring setting, which is in books, then they will be better able and more acute to identify the suffixes, but also to think of their meaning within given words and given sentences.